Is San Antonio the right city for you? That is a question that any good leader of their family is going to have to ask themselves.
For sure.
Is San Antonio right for us? Well, I'm sure you've done tons of research already. Hopefully you've watched some of our other videos that might give you some perspective on San Antonio. But in this video particularly, we're going to talk about a few things that you may not have found in your research, a couple things that we haven't touched on before in the past. So hopefully that will help you guys out. Let's go.
Let's get it.
All right, guys, so the first one is going to be for you young folks out there like myself who enjoys the nightlife.
Young folks, huh?
Not really. Yeah, I'm a little bit up there. But for those of you who are spring chickens and you are looking for a city that is going to offer a ton of nightlife, unfortunately, San Antonio is not known for that. Now, we are the 7th largest city in the country. There is plenty to do here, whether you're young, married, or old. However, you are not gonna really look at San Antonio like you would Austin, right?
No, I think you're right on that. And so, just to give you perspective, so I've lived here, right? I'm a local here, but everything has changed so much, right? So San Antonio has gotten better, right? If that's something that you are looking for, I definitely think San Antonio has gotten better, especially over the course of the last 10 or 12 years. I mean, like, it's grown immensely. I mean, you look at areas of town that we just weren't there, they didn't exist before. So that's not to say that the nightlife won't grow, and that's not to say that there isn't stuff to do as far as nightlife. There's the St. Mary's Strip, right? There's Southtown, there's all these different events, and there are good bars, clubs, whatever that you're into, they do have it. But when you think of San Antonio, it's not like when you think of Vegas or, like you said, with Austin, right? They're known for 6th Street.
You're right. San Antonio really is known for being a family-centric type of city.
Yeah.
The way that it is laid out and everything is really just for families in a lot of ways. It's suburban sprawl. People move here. They have large communities, and it's really about family. I think it's always been that way. So there are a lot of universities here in San Antonio. People move here to go to school. All of that is here in San Antonio. However, if you're looking to move to Texas and you're looking for a city that really is about the nightlife and about going out, I don't think San Antonio is going to be the perfect place for you.
Another thing you're going to want to consider for you and your family, when you're deciding if San Antonio is right for you, is decentralization. And what do I mean by that? San Antonio is a very big city, small town, right?
Big city, small town.
But it covers a lot of, square mileage, right? San Antonio is huge. It's the 2nd largest city in the southern half of the United States. Man, that's a tongue twister trying to say that.
And the 7th largest city overall.
Exactly. So it's a big city, but it has a small town feel. And I'll give you an example. A lot of people we personally know have grown up in San Antonio, lived here their whole lives, and have never really had to leave their side of town, right?
Yeah, people, some folks who have grown up on the west or the south side of San Antonio don't know a whole lot about the north side of San Antonio, for instance. It's just that big. We've even talked about this with other cities like that in Texas, with like Houston. You can live in San Antonio and still be 40 minutes from San Antonio.
Yeah, and that's crazy too. So something to consider, right? When we're talking about traffic, commuter times, right? That's a real problem. If you're coming from California, it's not that much of a problem when you're commuting 2 hours one way to get to work. But with San Antonio being a local here, it feels like a lot. So something to consider. You don't always have to go to one area of town to get one thing done. Chances are, wherever you decide to live and move and relocate your family, there's going to be stuff to do, whether it be entertainment, restaurants, anything like that, right? You're probably going to have it on your side of town, unless there's something very hyper-specific you're looking for. But other than that, you might not actually have to leave your side of town to get done what you guys want to get done.
And that's a really, really good thing, because people who are looking for a more quiet or smaller type of city, San Antonio is a big city, but yes, it can feel very, very small.
Yep.
So I wouldn't necessarily discount San Antonio if you've considered moving here, but you're thinking, man, that's just going to be too big for me. Well, you can live in San Antonio and it can feel very, very small for you. Okay, guys, we help a lot of people who are what we like to call California escapees.
Yeah.
A lot of refugees, right? A lot of people are leaving blue states for red states like Texas, Florida, Tennessee, and so forth. One thing people don't realize, though, is that San Antonio, although we are in a very, very red state, San Antonio is a blue city.
Yes, it is.
It's a very blue city. I wouldn't say that we are extremely blue or, heavy with liberal views, right? But I would say that we're a pretty moderately Democratic city.
Historically, when it comes to voting, San Antonio tends to lean towards Democrat. Now, that being said, how does that actually look in your daily lives? If you're coming from somewhere like a hyper liberal state or a hyper conservative area, whatever that may be, yeah, you might feel like it might be extreme
one way or the other.
However, in actuality, you don't really see that because it's kind of falls right in the middle, right?
It really does. Yeah. So although San Antonio tends to vote Democrat in the last few presidential elections, we have voted pretty democratically here, democratically.
Yeah.
Say that right? And here in San Antonio. However, like we mentioned before, San Antonio really has some very strong conservative values, especially when it comes to family, when it comes to education, and things like that. So I would say that San Antonio it's a moderately Democrat city.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, you may have heard this one before because if you are moving to San Antonio, if you've done any kind of research, I'm sure you have heard about allergies. Now, you definitely have to ask yourself, is San Antonio going to be right for you if you have allergies? If you suffer from them, I would say beware, baby.
100%. People can't actually be allergic to the city, right? We always joke like, oh man, I'm allergic to this, whatever, right?
But it sure feels like it.
Dude, I think you're 100% right, okay? I know people, I've grown up here personally, and for the longest time, I'm like, dude, I don't have allergies. Like, I'm good, man. Like, I whatever, right? You just got weak immune systems. So that didn't work out for me very well because probably into my early 20s, dude, sure enough, I thought I was sick, man, and went to the doctor. They're like, no, you just have allergies. It's pollen, blah, 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 right? So website called newhomesource.com actually ranked San Antonio as the 5th worst city for people with allergies to pollen and like ragweed and things like that in the country.
Wow.
That's wild.
Okay.
Dude, that's wild. And you feel it, you see it, right?
And we hear from it a lot too.
You do.
A lot of folks who are moving here from places that don't have a really bad allergies, they come here and they suffer for a little bit. Now, you can get used to the environment here and be okay, but we do hear it quite a bit.
And the reason why too is if you're coming from somewhere that's a little bit cooler, right? So obviously San Antonio is very hot. What contributes to those allergies is that heat because the pollen is actually produced longer, right? I bet you didn't know I was a scientist.
That heat be heating.
That heat be heating, in other words, as the great Jonathan Welch once said.
That heat be heating.
The heat be heating. So that, that's kind of what contributes to that. It's hot here. Allergies tend to be a lot more severe if you're coming from somewhere else in the country. Be mindful if that's you and you're affected by them because probably not going to be the place for you.
Okay, guys, last but not least, this one is a very important one. If you're a veteran or active duty, you have to ask, is San Antonio going to be right for you? I think unequivocally you would have to say yes. San Antonio is we love our veterans here. We love our military community here in San Antonio. We are Military City, USA. And a lot of people have spent their active duty years in San Antonio. And when they move away and they get out somewhere else, they find themselves coming back to San Antonio. This is a city that loves its veterans.
Something to be said about being in a community that supports you and what you do, right? Obviously, it feels good. And whenever you leave that kind of environment, a lot of the times you long for it, you miss it, right?
You really do, and I can attest to that because, I'm prior service, and I love living in San Antonio. I love being around that community. And it's weird because you can live in different parts of San Antonio and it doesn't really feel like you're in that, you know how some places, areas around Fort Benning, Georgia, or Norfolk, Virginia, or San Diego, for instance, it can feel very heavy military. And although you do definitely see military here in San Antonio, it's not just all military, if that makes sense. But
I think
in those of you who are active duty or veterans, you know what I'm talking about. You get that feeling, but
maybe it comes back to the decentralization, right? It's
Yes, there
not
you go.
everybody is in one area at the same
Right.
time, right? Everything is so spread out, and I think that there's so many veterans and active duty military members who are here that it's kind of a regular thing.
as you begin meeting
Yeah.
people and talking to people, you just notice that, man, everybody has a connection to the military in some way. It's not like it used to be back in the old days. I know that when I served, there was a time where you used to have a decal that you have to put on the windshield of your vehicle, and so you could spot a military member, everywhere, because everybody had these decals. Well, we don't do that anymore.
Here you
So
can close your eyes, throw a rock, and chances of you hitting a veteran or someone in active duty is
it's
very
just
high.
as you begin
Yeah.
to speak to people and talk to people, you just notice that, man, this is Military City, USA for sure. Okay, guys, that was short and sweet. Being fathers, we understand how important it is for us to ask that question: is this city or that city going to be right for me and for my family? We hope that some of the things that we talked about in this video will help give some perspective, or maybe help really help you finalize that decision that you guys have been trying to make. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We do post videos every single week, and this information right here is how you get a hold of us. You can call us, text us, or email us.
And make sure to let us know if we missed any that you might think may affect your move to San Antonio, right? Drop them down in the comments so we have an idea. We can maybe talk to that because other people probably have that question. Guys, whether you're moving to San Antonio in the next few weeks, next few days, next few hours, I don't care. Give us a call, shoot us a text, visit our website, shoot us an email. We'll be happy to help you and your family make that smooth move here to San Antonio. So again, guys, thank you so much for the continued love and support. We'll catch you in the next one.